The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
This one's wife. They really want reconciliation. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Last week, Harry met with his father. The meeting was for less than an hour, and we don't know what was discussed, although there's plenty of speculation as to what went on. We know that Harry wants into the royal family once again. He keeps talking about wanting reconciliation. We know that he wants that as a consequence of trying to stabilise relationships with his family, but primarily because of the necessity of utilisation of the royal brand, because all other opportunities for the idiotic Sussexes have failed. This one's wife is only known because of who she married. She has attempted to strike out in her own right and has singularly failed, not once, not twice, but on multiple occasions. Whilst they're not yet at the poorhouse, it's clear that with a lack of lucrative opportunities on the horizon, the A-list having turned their back, fashion giants and cosmetic outfits not interested, and with substantial overheads, something needs to change and fairly soon. And thus, we have seen the attempts to rehabilitate Harry's image with his 4-day tour in the United Kingdom, this one's wife staying away, and with his attempts to resolve matters with his father. I've explained separately what Charles would seek to get out of such a reconciliation as he's in his dotage. And therefore, from his position, there are advantages in terms of facade management for him to achieve that. And there are certain financial bonuses and benefits that the Sussexes would achieve. And it would appear that the Sussexes PR machine, having caused a meeting to take place between representatives some weeks ago, which was captured and detailed in the press, is going on overtime in its attempts to bring this about. And there's no clearer example of the pressure that's being generated to try and cause this to happen than by this particular article, which appeared in the Telegraph newspaper from Camilla Tominey, who ordinarily is no fan of this one's wife or Harry. She writes, "It's a controversial and probably unexpected view from me of all people, but I think Prince William should make peace with Prince Harry." I've explained elsewhere how William is resistant to this and why he remains resistant, and with good reason, across various fronts. Tominey continues, I know. Duchess Difficult and the hostage, as they were known to palace staff, have behaved appallingly, with their Oprah outpouring and their Netflix gut spilling and spare slaggings off. They've arguably invaded their loved ones' privacy more than anyone in the British press they hold in such contempt. They've schemed, they've allegedly bullied staff, which they have denied. Recollections of their self-proclaimed contributions to humanity certainly vary. And my goodness, they're irritating. If we never heard another word of self-congratulation from Meghan and Magdalene on the maternal miracle that is preparing a packed lunch, it will be too soon. And I'm sure we can all agree that we've had it up to here with endless ginger whinging. However, and I appreciate the word but, is going to do some heavy lifting here. At the end of the day, they're family. We've strayed into EastEnders territory. We're family. If the sudden death of Charlie Kirk at the age of 31 teaches us anything, it's that life is too short. It was genuinely gratifying to see Harry back in Blighty, doing what he does best this week, supporting charities including Wellchild and the Diana Award. He splashed more than $1 million of his own cash to children in need and visited soldiers in Ukraine, pledging thousands for those injured in the war. Excellent. And he spent almost an hour with his father, the king. Again, great. Our 76-year-old monarch is still recovering from cancer and needs both his sons' support. Really? Does he? Does he really need the ginger whinger and his handler? I appreciate that William does not want to be dragged back into the Sussex psychodrama, that he's wary of restoring relations, only for snippets of private conversations to end up in People magazine. I also understand how angry he must still be about the attacks on Kate, and could possibly blame the stress of it all on her own cancer diagnosis. But ultimately, brothers belong together, not apart. To the Prince of Wales's eternal credit, he never hit back, preferring to rise above. Being the bigger man and forgiving Harry would show strength, not weakness. It won't change the past, but it might unburden the future. So here we have Camilla Tominey, who has never held back in her criticisms of this one's wife and Harry, all of a sudden changing her tune to suggest that reconciliation would be a good thing involving Harry and William. It's almost as if she's been got at. Now, we all know that journalists only write what they're told to write by their editors and proprietors, and that's what's clearly happened here as the Sussex PR machine attempts to get as many individuals on side in order to try and make it happen. Accordingly, Camilla Tominey, who has never held back in her criticism of this one's wife and Harry, all of a sudden, on the flimsiest of reasons, brothers ought to belong together, suddenly decides that now's the time for William to forgive his brother and this one's wife. That after them regularly attacking the institution to which he belongs and will become king of, notwithstanding the fact that he made his grandfather and grandmother's dotages particularly unpleasant by their behaviour, and most heinously of all, their conduct in relation to his wife, falsely accusing her of being a racist and offering no meaningful support when her cancer diagnosis came about, it's now being stated that William should just now turn the other cheek, rise above it all and forgive. Well, I've mentioned in the previous video the reasons why that's not going to happen. And this type of article is indicative of the desperation of the Sussexes, whereby they are absolutely clamouring for reconciliation, that they are desperate to make it happen, that they are pulling out all of the stops for it to occur by all of a sudden ensuring that Harry's charitable endeavours are being pointed out, that brothers belong together, that William ought to forgive him, that this is what Charles would want in his final years, trying to blackmail emotionally William into accepting this state of affairs. No suggestion of Harry offering apologies, no suggestion of Meghan offering apologies in relation to how she's conducted herself. No, the pressure is all being built up to suggest that William is the one that ought to turn around and say, okay, I forgive you, you can come back. It's all well and good the Sussexes attempting to manufacture and steer the situation towards reconciliation, and it might be that Charles would want it for the purpose of his own facade, but they seem to have neglected a very important factor: the British public. The headline that Tominey wrote was, "You'd have to have a heart of stone not to want Harry welcomed back." The first comment is, in that case, I've got a heart of stone. Here is a quick flavour of more than 2,000 comments. Don't put the toxic two anywhere near the inner fabric of the nation's life. They have proved themselves to be lying traitors, all about money. You're right, you're absolutely right, Miss Tominey. A heart of stone it is. Another, a heart of stone, a functioning brain, a working memory and basic levels of judgment. How embarrassing and amoral the British corporate press are. I think the article seems to have left out the years that this person spent making his dying grandfather and grandmother's lives a misery and calling the British public racist just like Starmer, and still brazen about it and no apology. Hopefully William takes him and the actress's children out of the line of succession. Another writes, "Guess I've got a heart of stone then, Camilla. You know best. My heart appears to feel very stone-like regarding this man-child." Camilla, many people are outright disgusted with Harry and this one's wife, whose relentless attacks have caused considerable strain and suffering within the royal family. The sentiment is unmistakable. His return is unwelcome. I'm absolutely certain there's a deal between Harry's PR team and the owners of the Daily Telegraph, who probably forced Camilla to write this post under threat of dismissal, which is easier to believe than that she suddenly went crazy. But I don't believe for a second William will ever be an idiot and allow his brother into his family or the monarchy, no matter how many journalists are shouting about it. Hell will freeze over first. What unpatriotic tosh what this article is suggesting is that our monarchy purposefully exposed itself to further damage from the most destructive people ever to have been a part of the royal family, and that the British people should be represented by and bankroll these two ghastly individuals who have slandered and defamed them. Harry and wife are gone and should stay gone. Another, I'm done with the Daily Telegraph. It's beyond my strength to read such rubbish from Camilla. William might very well forgive Harry, but that does not equate with forget, and it'd be wise to give Harry and this one's wife a wide berth. Respectfully, if you care about and want to protect family members from further grief, sometimes a hard line has to be taken. It was genuinely gratifying to see Harry back in Blighty. Could have been a quote from any UK maker of anti-nausea products. William would need a brain of stone to allow ginge anywhere near the family business after Pops goes to meet his 72 virgins. Another writes, I clearly have a heart of stone. Another states, leeches feast on naivety. Another writes, so I have a heart of stone then. Another, he made his choice a while ago and has left a trail of damage in his wake. His wife will likely never return to the UK, so he's stuck. Actions have consequences. There's nobody agreeing with Camilla Tominay that this is what should be done. There's nobody agreeing that Harry and this one's wife should be allowed back in. There's no one suggesting that William should offer forgiveness. It's a clear attempt by the PR machine to make it happen, and the public reject it outright. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.